Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, back again with another view from the van. It's not Holly from fucking Red Dwarf or anything else like that. Fucking hell. No, still out of the graph. What, it's 7:30 or so on a Friday night, but you know me, Mr. No Time Off. Yeah, and I wanted to watch the press conference back before doing today's video, but very much looking forward to this weekend's game against Crystal Palace. And yeah, it's a bit of a north-east-south thing going on in the Premier League this weekend, so we make the trip down there. And I don't think it's going to be one for the classics. I don't think it's going to be one for the ages. The games between ourselves and Crystal Palace are normally close encounters, tight encounters, 0-0s, 1-0s, those sorts of things, 2-1s, the occasional 2-1 thrown in there. But it's not, it's not a game that you look when the fixtures come out and say, oh yeah, great, Crystal Palace, the ground with the fucking Sainsbury's underneath. I can't wait to do that one. I mean, I remember going down there a year or two back, it absolutely pissing down. There's not much space, there's not much room for away fans, certainly, in the concourses and stuff like that, and not a great experience down at Sellers Park. But to be fair, good fans, good noise, good banter. So enjoyed it from that perspective, but the facilities are a little bit dated and tired and stuff like that. But hopefully, we continue the fine form. We're approaching the end of January, still only the one defeat all season in the league. That contentious, that ill-tempered, that fucking money in a brown sort of paper fucking bag from Liverpool job. The 1-0 defeat at Anfield remains the only blemish on the Premier League record for ourselves. So we travel down there in good spirits, in a confident mood. We've got Alexander Isak back. He scored last time out himself, and Wilson combining, looking really, really good. So yeah, we've got to go down there really confident. Like I said, the run that we've been on, the record that we've been on, we've been really hard to break down, and that is the basis of any good, any good team, and the ability to have that strong, resilient defence who just like to defend and keep clean sheets. It always means that, if we can keep the ball out of the net, there's always a likelihood of a Miggy Almiron wonder goal. There's always a chance of Callum Wilson nicking you a goal, St. Maximin nicking a goal, or maybe, just maybe, Bruno Guimaraes, who was spotted in training today, 11v11 training. Fantastic to see, because we were shitting ourselves big time that this lad was going to be missing, and potentially missing a semi and possibly a final of the League Cup. So to have him back so soon must be a huge boost to everybody in the squad, and of course Eddie Howe as well. So he will travel down with the squad tomorrow, and yeah, if he's fit, if he's available, if there's no risk to the lad, then I would have him in there. If he's still not 100%, if there's any sort of slight reaction from going over from the twisted ankle, then I would rest him and keep him back for the Southampton game, because there's no doubt about it, those two games, that's the biggest thing for this football club in so long. So it's that is the game. So we can't afford to pick up any injuries, we can't afford to take any risks, and we do have the personnel to shuffle around a little bit if we need to, to avoid risking Bruno. But if he's fine, if he's fit, if he's firing, then of course a world-class player like Bruno Guimaraes you're going to want to have in the midfield, because like I touched on before, these are normally cagey affairs. These are normally close games decided by moments of magic, or a defensive lapse or whatever. So you want to have your special players playing, and there's no doubt about it. For us, he is the absolute gold standard. So yeah, delighted that he is fit and available. I got the news through. I saw Craig Hope actually was reporting about it, and I fucking get in over the bastard moon about that one. So yeah, Guimaraes, he will travel. Bruno is available, so that's absolutely great for us. Like I said before, Isak, he is available. But one player who is not available, and that is Chris Wood, who left the football club earlier on today, and he did meet the deadline, so he will make his debut for Nottingham Forest. I'm surprised at this deal, if I'm being honest. I didn't expect it to come through now, but it shows you the cutthroat nature of Eddie Howe and the team behind the scenes at Newcastle United. Look, this is a player we've only had for 12 months, and already cutthroat. There's no sentiment involved. There's no having him around. There's no he's a good lad and a team player and all of these sort of things that you see spelled out for certain players. It's, he was good for then. He's great for battling relegation, as he'll no doubt be doing down in Nottingham Forest. But when it comes to looking up the table, when it comes to aspiring to Champions League or certainly European football, when it comes to the bigger games, then I think you need more than a Chris Wood. And that's no disrespect, because like I say, he has been a great servant. He came in at a difficult time for the football club. Our football club was on its fucking arse, let's face it. He came here for big money, and no doubt he delivered. He played a lot of game time last season, covered for when Wilson was out. He was never unavailable. Even this season, I think he's only not been involved once. So obviously it's a player that Eddie Howe really, really likes. But like I say, sentiment, you've got to put it to one side, and if you want the club to develop, then you've got to be able to make those tough decisions. And I think a financial package at £15 million plus a loan fee of a few £1 million, so maybe £18 million, £19 million over the course of 4 or 5 months for a player who's 31, who hasn't hit the heights at all probably this season of what he did last season. If I'm being totally honest, I think his performances have dipped in over the last couple of appearances that he's had. You've seen the one-on-one chances. The Sheffield Wednesday game keeps replaying in my mind when he came on at half-time, and the chance there, you can't afford. Again, you're talking about fine margins. You can't be fluffing your lines, and unfortunately, that's what he did on too many occasions. But like I say, to separate the fact that great guy came in when we were in a difficult position, put his body on the line, done everything the right way, done everything asked of him. Fantastic person, individual, but I just don't think he cut the mustard with regards to what was needed at the football club and what we need going forward. So Eddie Howe spoke about it in the press conference today. He wasn't expecting much business, he wasn't expecting much changes, maybe youth players only coming in, but this does change things. He said he wants somebody who comes in who can be ready-made, who can hit the ground, who can contribute straight away, and no doubt looking more towards maybe the slightly younger, but not your 17, 18, 19 year old. You'll want somebody 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 who can come in, has maybe got experience, who can handle the pressure, and again can allow us the luxury of maybe being able to rotate a Callum Wilson a little bit more, and again having that different option there if he's unavailable through injury, or different types of opposition, different types of defences. So looking forward to seeing what names are linked over the coming days. No doubt the journalists all up and around Newcastle will be all over it, looking for who we're after. I've seen some crazy links, like the likes of Calvert-Lewin from down at Everton. 35 million, give your fucking heads a shake. Honestly, he's fucking he's injured and he's ill and he's unavailable. More than like fucking Darren Anderton back in the fucking days. You know what I mean? That's not what we're after. We need somebody who, in a way, like Chris Wood, is available 99.9% of the time, but we just needed, I think, somebody a little bit more mobile who can do more, offer more, and ultimately excite the fans, because it was just when Chris Wood was coming on, he just didn't fill you with any confidence that he was going to change the game, that he was going to get a goal. You didn't have that belief. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with this one. But Eddie Howe has spoken about there's no guarantees, but certainly in the next 11 days I am looking for that position for centre forward, that shirt number to be filled, the squad position to be filled, and it's a must as far as I'm concerned. And it was quite strong, I thought, from Eddie Howe through the press conference. He wasn't his normal political, careful what he says self. He was to put it on the line, we will be dangerously short if we don't recruit somebody to cover Chris Wood. So I think, again, 99.9% certain that the club won't let them down, and the club see the position in the league, the owners, the Dan Ashworths of the world, they see where we are in the league and how tantalising that Champions League adventure and odyssey may be. And they want to give Eddie Howe every tool available in order to seal the deal, and to get that Champions League place. Who knows if the come in and they're not cup tied, again, could there be the difference makers in a potential final if we to get that far as well? So the club will be well aware, and they'll be working day and night, no doubt about it. He also touched on some other areas. I think midfield is somewhere that they're still looking at, because it was all hands on deck, panic stations when they thought Bruno was going to be out for a while, because we've got nobody else on the bench to be able to come back in with. Shelby still 3 weeks away, and I think Matt Target is a similar sort of amount of time away, 3 weeks before they're back. So I still think they'll be looking again, though, maybe with somebody in your 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 sort of mould for that sort of recruitment side of it. But yeah, that is still definitely a priority, along with a right back. It seems the Fresneda deal that continues to rumble on, but obviously Eddie said nothing in this press conference about it, but still lots of agent talk and things going off into next week, so we'll see how that one develops. But it's great to see Newcastle actually in the market, trying to do stuff, trying to make things happen. The new ownership have said the January window isn't particularly one that they wanted to work in, but it's a case of reacting to injuries, reacting to the situation that presents itself. And of course, Chris Wood going, the finances like you touched on before, 18-19 million pound in total with the loan fee and future transfer fee, which will, from everything that's been said with the likes of Craig Hope and stuff as well, he said that look, it will be activated. It's basically a couple of games, and it's a guaranteed deal. It doesn't matter whether Forest go down, whether they stay up or whatever. I think they will stay up, to be honest. Looking at how it's been going and the investment, the serious investment that they are making, I think they will stay up. But even if they were to go down, then the deal would still be done. The finances and all that would be all signed off, so it's done, it's dusted. And Chris Wood has played his last game for our club, and like I say, to me, it's just a case of thanking Chris Wood for all that he's done for the football club. I hope he goes down to Nottingham Forest. Again, proper set of fans, great support, great atmosphere, being down there as well for in the away end, and I hope he does really, really good down there, and I think he'll get a good reception when he comes back to, St James's Park and stuff like that. Fans will recognise, what he's done for the club. But look, that's in the rear view mirror now. This weekend's game, there'll be nobody else in new for the weekend, but we've got Isaac back. We've still got options up there. St Maximin's still kicking about, and it's just about what sort of team that Eddie Howe goes for this weekend. I think whatever happens, I think Newcastle will edge it. I've got a feeling it'll be like a 1-0, something like that. Little bit edgy, little bit nervy. They played midweek, of course, against Manchester United. They got a very, very, very late draw, a deserved draw. They should have been playing against 10 men after an absolute fucking shocking tackle on one of their players. They're missing 1 or 2 defenders as well. Fatigue, tiredness will come into it. Newcastle, I think the game plan will be to keep the nice defensive shape at the back, keep solid at the back, and then as the second half goes on more and more and more, Newcastle, hopefully with that extra freshness, then extra couple of days of training and preparation and tactics that Eddie Howe and the staff will have done, will pay dividends. So I'm going for a 1-0 victory for us. The team, again, can't see much changes, to be honest, especially at the back, but Nick Pope in goal, that picks itself. Carrius, of course, he's signed up recently, but he'll be the third choice keeper going forward until, obviously, I think Darlow will be going, so he won't be sort of considered, I don't think. He'll go towards the end of the this month. He's going to go to a championship club. There's a host of them after him, including Huddersfield, who's really, really after him, desperate for a keeper. But yeah, it'll be between Carrius and Dubravka for the bench, but I think Dubravka this weekend will get onto the bench. But back to the team, so Nick Pope in goal, Trippier on one side, the captain, of course, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, and Dan Burn, who's from, I think he's from Blythe. He's from Blythe. And then in front of that, this is the interesting one. Do you risk Ramirez after last weekend? I mean, fucking hell, we were all shitting bricks, weren't we? We were fucking shitting bricks. Bit of a bad kick and stuff to the ankle. Do you chuck him in after a day's worth of training? Me, I think Eddie Howe is very, very cautious, and I think rightfully so. I've got a feeling that he may come onto the bench. I want to play it safe. If he you know, if the rest of the week they've been working on a certain shape with certain personnel, do you change that at the last minute? I don't know. You've got Big Joe. Big Joe can come in and play in the central areas, and then of course you've got Joe Willock to continue his fine form of recent, besides Sean Longstaff in the central midfield areas. Miguel Almiron, who likes the world, he hasn't scored in a few games now. Is it 8 or 9 games he's gone without a goal? He'll be eager to add to his goal tally from this season, no doubt about it. He'll be on one side. On the other side, this, of course, with me bringing Joe Linton into the middle, opens up a place on the left-hand side. And you've got Isaac and Alan St. Maximin both chomping at the bit. I think if you've got a £60 million asset at your disposal, then you play that player now. I know he doesn't particularly like being on the left-hand side. And I know you could rejig it and play with a 2 up top model. You could do that, but I've got a feeling Alexander Isak will come in on the other side. He might drift in a little bit, come a bit closer at times, but he'll start out on the left hand side, and up top of course Callum Wilson, which will mean that St. Maximin is benched once more. Now look, again, if it was me, I'd be tempted to put St. Maximin in. I thought he played fantastic. I thought he changed so much last time out, and I think he's clearly been working on his game. He's running back, he's tackling back, he's getting forward, he's exciting, he's dangerous, he's putting crosses in, he's taking shots on. He's not being a ball hog, which I've heard him being accused of before. You know, plenty of good passes to his teammates and stuff like that. And ultimately, when you are playing against him, and when oppositions often play against him, they will put 2 players on him, which again opens up space elsewhere on the park. So I'd be tempted to play at St. Maximin and be very gradual and very careful with Isaac, because only 2 strikers, remember, at the club at the time being. But I've got a feeling for this game, certainly Isaac, I think Eddie will go for him, and then we'll look again with regards to the semi-final. Can't wait. The fucking tickets come today. I was like, oh, get in, lovely. Don't mind putting the graft in when there's that carrot and that incentive at the not too distant future. So that's the team I think you'll go for, and then Saint will come on, and hopefully when the game's got a bit tired and a bit stretched in the second half, he'll be able to exploit the spaces, exploit their tiredness, exploit their fatigue from playing obviously midweek and stuff as well. And Newcastle edge a 1-0 down at Selhurst Park, Sainsbury's Park, or whatever it is. I just remember the Sainsbury's. Just very, very odd that there's a stadium there and there's a supermarket underneath. Yeah. A little bit different, that's all. But yeah, massive game. We need to get the 3 points and again continue the fine form and just solidify ourselves in that top 4 equation. We can jump up another place if we are to get that victory. Of course, Manchester United with the point jumped over the top of us. We've now all played equal games, but I think we're 5 points clear of Spurs with a game in hand, and I think that's the critical thing, in the race for the unlikely race for the top 4, to have 5 points and a game in hand. That could be 8 points. That is absolutely massive at this stage of the season. So just another reason why it's so important to get the recruitment right and to get this replacement for Chris Wood right as well. Like I say, just to touch on, we have had lots of names linked to us over the past couple of days. We'll keep bringing you all the rumours from the different peoples, but the likes of Connor Gallagher's been mentioned, a host of South American prodigies, youngsters have been linked as well. Clearly Dan Ashworth is using up his little contacts book, using up all those excellent relationships he's built up in South America. And it's exciting times. I do expect us to sign 1 or 2 of these lads who, are being linked from over that neck of the woods, over the course of the next, 11 days before? Yeah, about something like that. I'm not the greatest with maths and stuff like that, but it's on a game night as well, isn't it? Transfer deadline day, so that'll be a bit different and a bit interesting. But in the meantime, there will be a review coming after the game, then there'll be another preview, and some big news coming up for Magpie 24/7, hopefully over the next week to 10 days, hopefully before the end of this month. Not only do we have some exciting transfers not only do we have some exciting moments, another 3 points this weekend, and hopefully progression through to the final of the Football League Cup to talk about, but hopefully some Magpie 24/7 news as well. Just a little bit of a sneak peek. There's some exciting times, exciting plans that we're trying to put in. We're just trying to make it better all of the time. We appreciate your support. We appreciate the views, the likes, the subscribes, the follows. We've just got over 10,000 on Instagram, which is fantastic. 86,000 in total. It's fucking mind-boggling, the support, but glad everybody's liking what we're doing and stuff like that. So down below in the comments, let us know what your score prediction is. Who would you play on the left hand side if Bruno is maybe kept on the bench and just kept back a little bit from taking that risk about his injury? Would you play Isaac? Would you play the Saint? Or would you perhaps go with somebody else, a different one, and just give them a rest with obviously the football to come next week? Would you play, I don't know, Jacob Murphy maybe out there? Maybe Jacob Murphy's dad or something is watching this, and Jacob Murphy's dad might want Jacob Murphy to start. So yeah, let us know who you'd play on that left hand side. Would you make any changes to anywhere else, and who do you think could possibly be that signing to come in and replace and take Chris Wood's shirt? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you haven't already, click the like button. It does mean a lot, helps with the algorithm and all that sort of thing, I'm led to believe anyway, but it's only what Kyle says. And if you could subscribe to Magpie 24/7, again, that would be appreciated 1,000 times. It really would. So exciting couple of days coming up. I can't help but look at the semi-final, but there's business to take care of this weekend, and if we're not at our very best, if we're literally a % or two under those very high Eddie Howe standards, these lot will take advantage. Patrick Vieira will, he will look for weaknesses, and he will try and exploit it, and he will try and get the 3 points. So we've got to be at our best this weekend, backed of course by another sellout away crowd down there cheering the lads on, no doubt about it. So yeah, massive game, 100% focus this weekend, and then into a massive week for our football club. Can't wait. So yeah, in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, get finished off now and get back home, and I'll speak to you later.